Denver. Nikola Jokic and the red-hot Nuggets are moving closer to clinching the 3 seed. After beating the Grizzlies 136-119, Denver has won 10 straight games for the first time in 13 years. Jokic, a quiet 14 points, 15 rebounds, and 10 assists. Another triple-double. It was his 34th triple-double of the season, tying his career high from last season. It is now tied for the 4th most in a season. Ties that with Russell Westbrook, who did it in 2018 and 2019. Monica, it's another amazing season out of him. Are we underappreciating what Jokic is doing out in Denver?
Yes, good gracious, we are. And I get it. Wemby has come along and captivated the hearts of basketball fans. Matter of fact, people everywhere, because what he's done looks so extraterrestrial. But here's this guy that is just giving you a triple-double, who has been able to maintain the core of his team that allowed him to win a championship 2 seasons ago, has only gotten better, and this team is rounding out into form in terms of getting healthy and rattling off 10 wins down the stretch of the season. Now, Schrager, Vinny, they do have to play both OKC and San Antonio to finish out the regular season. However, I've said this all along. If you told me who can upset the apple cart as far as this run that the Spurs are on, I'm like, y'all, you cannot overlook Denver.
And if they're the 3 seed, they'll have to get through likely those 2 teams in the playoffs as well. You were saying on the pre-production call about his statistical prowess to see like just how unprecedented this is.
Yeah, I'm not a slave to the stats all the time. But leading the league in assists and rebounds in the same season, y'all, this is just something that we haven't quite seen before.
Yeah.
I'm a big man.
And he's won 3 MVPs, so he's historically appreciated. But this season itself will go historically unappreciated. He doesn't have the story. Like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has a story. Victor Wembanyama has the story, but he is still the game. And he has 7 3-point shooters around him. The one thing you want to give Jokic is space to operate and one defender in his face, even if that's Victor Wembanyama. Did you see that shot that scraped?
Come on,
over 7
Schrager, come on, up here.
It scraped the Lord, y'all. He's going to have 0 issues with him in the 7-game series. Who knows what's going to happen?
I'm not going to say 0 issues.
No, I'm saying he's going to have 0 issues.
Okay, all right.
I'm not saying they're going to have 0 issues.
Yeah.
We're going to have a mano-a-mano, I think, in the second round in ways that we don't often
I think it's a great question for you because we've been talking about Spurs and Thunder all season, 2-horse race. We now have a legit, and it's ironic with his horses, with his love for horses, but a 3rd horse in this race. Can the Nuggets spoil this Thunder Spurs Western Conference Finals we've been looking at?
Okay, so I'm always bad at projecting ahead, but right now, what are they? 3? So they would get Minnesota first, which is not a given, right? Then after Minnesota, they would go 1.
San Antonio.
They go San Antonio. Okay, excuse me. Yes, I think they could. I really do. My qualm with San Antonio has just been the fact of what we see most consistently in the NBA. It is so rare for a team with 0 collective experience and a first-time head coach in the postseason to go and make it happen. On the other end of that, you've got experience, you've got unique enough talent, Joker or Wemby, whichever one you want, incredibly unique, literally changing the game. Those 2 match up in that series. You've got great guard play on both sides, but to me, the pendulum swings in the favor of the Nuggets because they won a championship 2 years ago. Like they know
and
the 20-game stretch.
And they took the Thunder to 7 games last year.
And you know what? And you know what else? It just came to me. If they get to the finals, it will be one of the greatest team runs we've ever seen. Just getting there. Okay, you beat Minnesota with Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, and
if this holds, right?
If it holds.
Right.
Then you go and play San Antonio 60 wins. Then you go and if you beat the Thunder, defending champion Thunder, 60 wins. The last time I could think of that is probably the Houston Rockets of Hakeem Olajuwon, big man, lot of shooters.
Otis Thorpe.
No, that was Clyde Drexler. Clyde Drexler second year. But no, but good. I like the pool. Someone's been talking to Himbo. That's what that is. But no, that's the road that is facing them. If they are to get there, the West is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Get your sleep now, because we ain't sleeping until June.
Now, and to be fair, you could look at this and say, people might be sleeping on Minnesota as well. Whoever is the last team standing in the West is going to go through a bloodbath. But when you look at it, to me, one of the differentiating factors in such a tightly...
McCourty, we got the great Kevin Clark, and we've got my guy Vince Goodwill. We are excited to be having a huge get-up this morning, but we start with the NBA, with the return of the night, and it was Cade Cunningham coming back from a collapsed lung. The Pistons hosting the Bucks. Cade has not played since mid-March, and he looks good there early on, spinning the finish in the tough bucket inside. Cade Cunningham's first point since the return. Then we see here the defense. Asar Thompson gets the steal, and get up there, Cade. Alley-oop slam. Cunningham becomes the first Piston with back-to-back 1,500-point season since Jerry Stackhouse did it at the turn of the century. Then Cade Cunningham to the hoop, finishes. Pistons looking good. And then on the other end here, the catch from the lob, the bucket, contested layup, good. 8 minutes left in the third quarter, and take a look at this. Duncan Robinson finds him, and Cade finds the bucket. Then early in the fourth quarter, let's put an exclamation mark on it. Jalen Duren in transition with the slam dunk. Pistons would roll. They would win by 26 points. Cade Cunningham looked good. Monica, Vince, welcome back to the show here. I am so excited to talk about it because this gets the energy going as I'm flying the papers around
there it
here.
is.
Your single biggest takeaway from Cade Cunningham's return to the basketball court last night?
It's good to see that young man healthy. The Detroit Pistons are as scary as I thought they would be. With him back as the centerpiece, and I think that there was actually a valuable stretch. There was some silver lining, if you will, to his absence in terms of those guys continuing to find ways to grow, to develop their confidence when he isn't on the floor. They had some solid showings over that stretch. And so now I think you put it all back together, and they are as dangerous as any #1 seed should be.
Vince, he looked good. You've been following this team all season. Did you see a version of the Pistons that you say, spinning it forward, okay, those are the beasts of the East, #1 seed, it should be just fine for them with him back?
I don't know what just fine means, but I don't think we have anything necessarily to worry about as far as early playoff upsets. I think, like Monica said, a new dynamic for the team. Asar Thompson told me in Philadelphia, hey, because we had a superstar, we tended to relax a little bit too much. Now we had to lean into our grit, which is what this team wanted to be built on. Second best defense in the league, 8-3 during the 11 games that Cade was out. Now, as long as you have guys who are still committed to being themselves and not deferring so much to Cade because he's that guy, then you have a more dynamic team headed into the playoffs. I'm really curious to see what this team looks like 2 weeks from now when the playoffs begin.
Yeah, and look, we know the storyline. Last year, they had the Knicks in that tough first-round battle. They haven't been battle-tested, quote-unquote, as far as going deep into the playoffs. But, Monica, this team, they've been dominant all season long.
Yeah, and I think the thing, too, that I'm looking forward to in the playoffs is to them being healthy and whole. Whether it was Cade, Stewart, Duren, like Thompson here or there, Tobias Harris, like they've had these sort of hodgepodge of their cast, different versions of their group. And I think ultimately it's healthy because guys are getting a chance to get real meaningful minutes, but they'll go into these series whole for the most part, which I think you got to look out because, again, like that version of them, I don't know that we've seen them as consistently down the stretch, completely whole.
And remember, Monica, they're in that first-round series against the Knicks last year. No Isaiah Stewart.
No, that's a big swing.
He came back last night in addition to Cade Cunningham. They both of them on a pitch count. You remember, they're going to have a week off after the regular season ends because of the play-in, so you won't have real basketball for almost 10 days. I think that's why it's important for Cade and Stewart to get out there, get a sweat, get hit, and then be able to take that break and understand what's going to be asked of them going to the first week of the playoffs.
Great to see Cade back. Knicks play the Celtics tonight. We're going to talk about that in a second. We stay in the